Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of Directionally Speaking. I'm Jeff Zent, Senior Director of Innovation for Agronovis, Indiana, and I'm here again with another participant in this year's Velocity Accelerator program, Eddy from Earnest Agriculture. We're going to talk all things Ernest, his journey as an entrepreneur. But before we get to that, I'd love to turn it over to Eddy to introduce himself and Earnest Agriculture for us before we get started. Eddy.
Hello, thanks Jeff for having me. Again, my name is Eddy Mejia. I'm a military veteran, served 6 years in the Army, Afghanistan, Iraq. I am the co-founder and CEO of Earnest Agriculture. And what we did at Earnest is built a platform. If you've ever seen the movie Moneyball, instead of matching baseball players, we're matching bacteria strains together and we deliver them via seed treatment. And that's to help with nutrient use efficiency, plant resilience, and disease suppression. So we're thinking of biologicals more of a holistic view. So not just focusing on one thing, but focusing on what the plant needs and delivering that throughout the life cycle of the plant. So,
Eddy, that's
yeah.
amazing. How the heck did you end up in this path? Was this like, did you always see an opportunity to be the matchmaker between, bacteria strains and seed? Or how did you end up here with Ernest?
Yeah, so I met my co-founder, Dr. Gabe Price, at the University of Illinois. We were part of an accelerator program there. Um, and so I had two different businesses before, and after the military, I was kind of looking for purpose. And I didn't see that in my first two businesses. And then I met Gabe. Gabe is a very smart guy, total opposite of me, but, long hair, when I met him, he had shorts, sandals, very, let me see what the word, nerdy maybe. So, and then end of 2018, he asked the program, hey, I need somebody to help me run this. So he was kind of starting off Earnest in the beginning, which looked a lot different from what it looks now. And I said, yeah, let me give it a try. Gabe, I don't want anything. I just want to see if we work well together. We spent a year kind of working together. And then after that year, I'm like, we kind of split the business. And we were 6 years later, we're still working together. And so it's been a great partnership.
That's awesome. Can you talk to us a little bit about like the growth over those 6 years? There's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on that, even as we hopefully become quote unquote overnight success, like we're not overnight. What has that been like? What have these last 6 years been like for you guys, and kind of what are those milestones as you've gotten to where you are in 25?
Yeah, so when we first started, we were trying to Gabe always had the microbes, so we were trying to figure out a way to deliver. And so composting was where we were trying to get to so we could sell it to consumers. We built out like the proof of concept. We had a home manufacturing. We were trying to automate the whole process, so from cattle manure out to the soil amendment, and then we were going to research how to put the microbes into the soil amendment. So basically, we ended up going in 2022 is when we finished the proof of concept. So 2018 to 2022, it was a lot of proof of concept. So because it was some of these equipment is really expensive. So basically, 2022 we moved into our facility, and then Gabe started doing the microbe stuff. Like he started going, and then basically I started figuring out that to educate consumers that they should pay a lot more for soil amendment because of the microbes was a big lift, and the scalability was really hard. So like Home Depot and Menards, they require you to have like millions of dollars of insurance, so you have to have a lot of cash backing you up. So versus the path where we saw a bigger opportunity with agriculture. So we saw there was a definitely need. There's a lot of biologicals in the space right now, and a lot of them are inconsistent. So one week, then 1 year they work, 1 year they don't. So
Sure.
we kind of in 2022 we shifted. Agriculture is where we're at, and we saw a lot of the farmers we're working with right now. Really excited to see the results for this year. We're super excited. So.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because I want to give you an opportunity to brag a little bit because I think it's super exciting. This year we are in field. We are doing seed treatments. Can you talk to us a little bit about where Ernest sits right now, and what this spring has been like?
Yeah, so we last year we only had about 5 acres of like third-party testing, and we've jumped up 40,000% total footprint for us. So as you can imagine, super busy, trying to figure out, trying how to do this, and we've done it so far. So all the farmers this year that we are planted already planted, and now we're focusing on the third party testers that we're working with. So we're working with 11 farmers, 9 CROs, those are contract research organizations, 4 universities. And so what we did is, so the first year we started 2023 is when we first did a field trial. At that point, we were just trying to see that our approach works and then compare it with leading biologicals. So we saw that our product is 45% better than them versus yield. And then the next year, which is last year, we said, okay, well, it worked in one location. Will it work everywhere else? And so we did the same thing again last year with soybean across 5 states, 8 different locations. And again, we saw a 6% yield increase across all those fields, so statistically significant. And so now this year, we're like, okay, well, is it going to work 2 years in a row? So, always kind of moving the goalposts. But I think it's very important as we talk to farmers that, they want to see trials in their state, and they love seeing CRO trials, university trials, and even farmers in their state using our products. So we're kind of wrapping the business strategy with the science strategy to make sure that we're checking all the boxes that we need to do.
Love that. I love that. So let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk about Eddy, the founder. You mentioned earlier your background coming out of the Army, having startups before. Did you always know you were going to be an entrepreneur? Like, was that always on the cards for you, or has this been kind of a new journey or a found journey along the way?
No, I did not. So I was a big IT nerd. So I loved my computers were like my thing. So when I joined the military, I was in IT. So I did all communications. So I was running cable, radio, satellites, you name it, I was doing it. But then basically year 4, which I had 6-year contract, I was like, damn, I hate this. I was tired of fixing stuff. So I was help desk. The guy you come with, hey, my email stops working. Yeah. The guy that tells you, hey, unplug your computer and plug it back in. So then I'm like, all right, well, when I get finished, I'm going to go do my computer engineering. So computer engineering was so I can create something. And so I was doing that degree, and then I ended up seeing, this is random, and Gabe started the same way, which is funny. We saw a flyer, basically like, hey, come try this startup competition. And so I went to go to the programming, and I ended up like loving it. So my first kind of startup was a shoebox. So totally different from what I'm doing now, but that one really allowed me to learn so much. So I was like out in conferences talking to shoe collectors, like trying to sell this box. I flew to China to manufacture, because that box to get that box manufactured here was going to cost $300. I was getting it manufactured and landed here about $25. So
oh my gosh,
it was like, yeah, it was like crazy. So, but it was my first time like going to China, first time like sourcing something like this. And then right when I was gonna get my degree, and then I had a job like lined up, because I was kind of doing it as more of a lifestyle business. I was trying to keep a full time, and then again somebody emailed me, hey, apply for this program at the University of Illinois, and I wound up applying, and I got in. So I was like, well, I might as well do my MBA, because it's on the street, and so that's where I got my MBA. Met Gabe, and then it was kind of basically free. So I got $15,000 to work on my startup for the summer, and then school was free, because one of the benefits of being a veteran. So I did it. So I guess it worked out. And so I do love business more than I do engineering. So it's funny, but I do always go back. So IT, the engineering thing, you always, even now, I'm like, how do I improve processes with technology? How do I use software to kind of leverage or streamline some of this? And then now AI came out, so now how do I leverage that too? So it's just like, I don't think it's ever going away. I think I'm always going to use that skill, especially, but definitely businesses, there's no right proven path. There's always a billion paths to go through, and so it's fun seeing what works and what doesn't.
For sure. So let's double click on that for a second. if you could grab one or maybe two snippets of things that you've learned during this path, that has helped you or been something that has built where you are today, what would that thing or those things be?
Yeah, definitely the organizations that I've been part. Like Velocity's been great. Jeff, well, shout out to you. Uh,
I appreciate that, Eddie.
like it's good to have people on your side. Always like we have meetings and you're like, hey, I'm like, I really need help with this, and then you're like, okay, let me see what I can do, and then you reach out to your network, and so you know your network is really your net worth, and that has been time and time again what has helped us and what has gotten us far. Um, Making decisions, expanding, thinking about stuff strategically. So it's definitely been the partners that we've been a part of. So, some other ones are like Ag Launch out of Tennessee, Grand Farms out of North Dakota, Creative Destruction Labs out of Canada, Indie Bio New York, so SOSV out of New York. Phenomenal programs, and there's more that I can reach, but
For sure.
just some of the ones that really, really have helped us along the way. So would not be here without with all the partnerships that we've had. So that's for sure.
100%. But, to those who are listening to this, I think also as a testament to what you've done, Eddie, is, it also takes a level of willingness to reach out and be part of those things. Like, it's not easy to like make those connections and reach out, but all of those organizations you've mentioned can be such a level up. But it also takes the entrepreneur to say, hey, like, I need help. Like, would you be willing to take a look and see if you can help me? And like, that piece is so valuable to have entrepreneurs like yourself who can think that way. So just, I just want to throw some kudos back at you because I think that's been a testament to where you are today. Okay, so we're running up on time. You've given us graciously this time to talk. I always like to end our session with one thing that's a call to action to our audience. So we're talking to groups of entrepreneurs, other folks in the ag bioscience industry, whether that's corporate or other businesses that are servicing our industry. We can't ask for investment publicly because we don't want to get in hot water with the SEC. But if there's somebody listening to this, what are the things that you're looking for or needing at the current moment that could really be a level up for Earnest Agriculture as you move forward?
Yes. Well, I would say connections with credit investors, in ag, biotech, climate, hard tech, green tech, in those industries, and then I'm gonna sneak a number. I'm gonna sneak a number two here, and then any connections with farmers in the Midwest. So Indiana, we're definitely looking for more partnerships this year, and starting off. We're already starting off for next year because it takes you have to really plan ahead. So yeah, we're looking for two things. Yeah, just connections with investors in those spaces, and then with farmers in the Midwest.
100%. And to those farmers that may be listening, or people who know farmers that are listening, yield increase year over year is always an important thing. And so we've got some data and some historicals that prove that what Earnest Agriculture brings to the table can impact that. And so you'll be able to reach out to Eddy through us. We'll have contact information in the show notes of this episode. And Eddy, just thanks again for the time today. Thank you for being part of Velocity. Thank you for all that you're doing for the ag bioscience economy. We really appreciate you being part of the Indiana ecosystem and look forward to seeing where you go from here. So thanks again for the time today, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate the time.